Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I know it's been a long time since you've heard from me. Got a little off schedule. I want to give you an update on where I'm at, kind of why things are the way they are. It's been a weird month. So October 5th, in the old diesel, we were CRD, the Jeep CRD. We were Liberty CRD. There we go. I went for a haircut appointment after work, and on my way back, this thing went into limp mode. Which, you know, I mashed the gas or the accelerator as far as it'd go. Wouldn't do anything over 40. Luckily I was able to pull over to a parking lot, but I had to make a left-hand turn and it was sputtering as I tried to navigate that left-hand turn. So I was about 15 miles away from home, so I just called up AAA, had them tow it to a dealership that I was in the town I was in. And then, so when I finally got the call back from that dealership 2 days later, they said I had 2 leaky injectors, and when you look at the price of what injectors go for this, they're about $450 a pop for reman injectors. So they had suggested, well, if they're going to do the work, they should do all 4 at the same time. Their price before labor was $4,600, which around here, we're almost 10% sales tax anyways, so we're talking $5,000 to fix what I bought for I think $7,300 almost 2 years ago. Well, I decided that wasn't going to be an option, so we loaded it up on a trailer. Luckily, a neighbor friend of mine, he works for Toyota Corporate, he knows his car stuff, and we towed it back to his place. And funny thing is after I pulled over that parking lot that night, just to see what would happen, I started it right back up when I was waiting for a tow truck. Started just fine. Started just fine to load it up on the tow truck. Started up just fine to load it on the trailer to come from the dealer back to my buddy's house. So after more and more research, and I kind of dropped it off at his house, let him just tinker with it kind of throughout the week. And through my research, it always pointed more towards it was like a mass airflow or some sort of air issue that would set off the computer to sort of shut itself down to prevent damage. And as time went on that week, my buddy Mike found I had a cracked air intake tube from my airbox to my turbocharger. Mass airflow sensor was a little dirty, so he cleaned that up for me. I had a leaky PCV valve at the top of my valve cover. And long time ago, I lost the fuel cap for this thing. So his philosophy is, let's just fix the things we know that are wrong first, and then let's see what happens. So we did that, and $215 in parts later, he was test driving it like every night after he'd fix something, and it ran just fine. I started sort of, and through all this, okay, right, I've got a coworker that he lives nearby, so we started to carpool. So we decided, let's just keep up the carpool, because there's no business, and why would we both spend all the money and miles and gas and everything? So we had that working out. So he's in the next town over, about 7, 8, 9, 10 miles over. So I started just slowly, I'd drive this. On the days I didn't drive, I'd drive this over to his house. And on the days I drove, my parents let me borrow one of their vehicles, so that's been a huge blessing as well. So I kept scaling up the mileage on driving this thing to and from work, and finally on the first day I drove it all the way to work and all the way back, which is about 30 miles. Within probably 10 miles of home, I heard this weird grinding sound coming up on an exit ramp, and through time, figured out I had a caliper sticking, so I just got done wrapping that up today. Gravity bled the brake system, which I would do a video on, but there's enough of them out there on YouTube anyways. Mine's not going to be any better than the next guy's. So just search here on YouTube if you're interested in what that is. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. One-person job that way. But yeah, so I haven't put on that EGR delete kit yet. Hopefully, if I haven't test drove this thing, but hopefully if we're all out of the woodwork there, hopefully that's something I can do in the next coming months. But through all this, right, so it's been a rough October, and it's fantastic that I didn't have to spend $4,600. My buddy Mike pressure tested the injectors, we seem to be all fine. I think it's enough of a warning sign to tell me that the age on this thing at 192,000 miles, and just as rare as that diesel motor is, parts are expensive. I mean, I replaced the alternator, and the alternator was almost $500. So it's just one of those things that maybe it's time to get out. I think I'm probably going to look at selling this thing. I'd really like to go until March, which would be my 2-year anniversary of owning this thing, just because all the tags and title and taxes, all that BS is expensive to do over and over and over and over and over again. So I'd like to make it to March or February, but we'll see. I think this marks the beginning of the end of the Jeep Liberty CRD, which is a shame, because I love the thing. It's been one of my favorite vehicles of all time, but I've dumped some serious money into this thing, and it's just not sustainable. Now, granted, I'd have to calculate all that and see if how that would compare to, say, a $250 car payment throughout the year. Probably cheaper. Probably, I'm, without doing the math, 99% sure probably cheaper, but still, it's just been it's been a hassle. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Till next time, peace out.